Welcome to National Scholarship Month celebration. I'm coming to you with another Scholar Score Live. And we did this way earlier when the pandemic kind of first started early in the summer. And so give me one moment, guys. We're using something we normally don't use. All right. I'm locking the meeting, so it's just us on here. I have a few of my students. I'm excited to put them on camera. This is something new for us. We've never gone on camera during the school year. We usually wait till we're celebrating or something like that, like their alumni and on their way. But I thought it appropriate since it's scholarship month to come and show you and have them share a little bit about the process they're going through right now. And also making sure I bring some students that have already won scholarship money, right? So you can see that it's possible. These are class of 2021. Say, hey, y'all can celebrate or no? Y'all not rocking it out as seniors. They're all class of 2021. They all have either verbal or confirmed offers of over $100,000 in scholarship money. So I'm truly excited about that. We confirmed our numbers, and if you saw the post that I put out on Facebook, you may have saw that I put 300,000 combined, but they checked me real quick tonight before we got on here and went and confirmed their numbers. So I think we're at over $500,000, $500,000, guys, to be honest with you. So I thank you for joining. I won't keep you long. They have school tomorrow. These are, regular school students. There's nothing different. They got to go to school and do all that. We just wrapped up our normal Thursday session, working through whatever follow-ups they needed and checking in and celebrating. So I want to get started with the questions. I'm going to, Tiff, if you're on here, please share out to the group. I'm going to try to share out to my page right quick once I get them started with the interview. So who wants to go first? Who's going to be the leader? This will be interesting because they're all leaders.
I'll go first.
Mackenzie says she'll go first. So ladies and gentlemen, this is Mackenzie Greer. She's coming out of Mesquite, Texas. Um, she attends Dallas Christian, I would say college, not Dallas Christian College, Dallas Christian High School. And we'll be doing panel style and going around. If you have questions on Facebook, I'm gonna try to get where I can get back to those. So go ahead and drop them in the comments. If you catch this as a replay, do hashtag replay. And if you have questions or comments, go ahead. They may not stay on, but I'll stay on with you because I want them to get a good night's rest. All right, Kenzie. Um, what do you like most about being part of College Mode Academy? What would you say is the best part of being?
I'd say like being well equipped and being like ahead of others because like coming into my senior year, a lot of my friends did not know what they were doing and didn't like have scholarships ready, wasn't studying for the ACT or the SAT because they just thought that all schools were test optional. So it didn't matter. But I felt well equipped and like ahead of the curve of a lot of things just because I was already ahead of everybody else. And when I got to my counselor, I was just like, I got this done. I only need you to do this. And she's like, oh, you're prepared. And so with that was just really easy and really good for me because I became very organized and making sure that I was ahead of everybody else in my class so that I won't be stressing by this time spring. I could just be relaxing and just only debating on what college I want to go to. So that's the best part about joining the program.
Thank you for sharing that. And all of you guys usually say something a little different, but that's important to note because I had a student, I think your peer Janita was like, they just had a senior meeting, miss. We already did all that. All right. I'm going to go around the way I see you guys on the screen. So I'm going to go ladies first and go over to Sierra, then VJ. What is your favorite part about being part of College Mode Academy?
Well, I actually have a few things that are my favorite, so I can't say one, but my number one at the moment is the community of other students that are like trying to succeed, like not do the same career path as me, but like trying to get their same goals accomplished. Like we might not want to go to the same school, but we all want to go to school. So I think that community of like being with other students, because I know sometimes like some people in my high school, like they're just like, oh, well, I don't know where I'm going to go to college. And like that kind of like hippie mindset, I don't want it to like rub off on me because like I know where I want to go. I have like I know what I want to do, so I want to get it done. And the community of students that are like-minded to me just makes me feel good. And then within the community, there's a lot of support. So, and everybody gets to know each other, especially through the Zoom calls. Like even last week, for example, somebody was doing a like describe me trait for a
Oh,
scholarship.
yeah.
Everybody was able to chip in and be like, well, you're quirky, you're smart, you're nice. Like everybody chipped in because like, everybody knew like things about them that we had been like discovering about each other since the summer. It's just like I said, in addition to my family, I guess, because like I talk to y'all like most of the time during the week, so 3 hours at least. So I get to know y'all real well. And then
Yeah.
I feel like Miss Tandy, like when I first came in, like I don't think she didn't say this specifically, but like Miss Tandy is not new to the game. She's true to the game. So like she really can give you like personalized help with like things that you might not think about because you're only going to apply to college once or like go through this process once. But Miss Tandy has gone through it so many times and time again. So she can just give you more specific help and like tell you like, that doesn't look right. They didn't do that last year. Like, especially with the test optional, Miss Tandy was ahead of it. She was like, no, we're not just gonna like say like, oh, it's test optional. Don't prep for no test. Like Miss Tandy was on it.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. And BJ, last but certainly not least, what are your favorite thing or things about college mode? Because Sierra's like, I got things.
Yeah. For me, it really comes down to like the community and being able to be with students that are just as like interested in and like invested in their futures, just like me, and making sure that they end up applying to colleges or getting into where they want to be. So.
Okay, awesome. I'm sharing this group, and that's gonna be it. I'm gonna stop playing with y'all on Facebook. I'm gonna try to find y'all comments in a minute, but I want to stay on track as I promised them. And I just want to say this again because I can't say it enough. One of my friends is a Howard alumni, and she's shouting from the rooftops every day that she's a Howard alumni. So I'm gonna shout, since this is National Scholarship Month, that these kids checked me. I had the nerve to put only $300,000 on their banner on Facebook when I put this event up. They quickly went and got their calculators and checked me and told me it was really more like over 500,000. So that's what we're talking about tonight, guys. I wanted to introduce them, let you know where they are. Sierra is in Arlington, Texas. VJ is out in Ames, Iowa. And I believe his high school is Ames High School. And Sierra is at Seguin over in Arlington. All right. So let's get into this a little bit more. What do you think specifically? Like, you right now, you were counting up your money, like, get that straight, get our coin straight, Miss Sandy. But what do you think specifically helped you? Number one, when you all came in, I remember a couple of you being like, what if I don't get any scholarships, or not being sure about that? What do you think the program did for you or with you that helped you gain the confidence to be like, number one, count my money right. Number two, I'm getting this money. So Kenzie, you gonna go first?
I remember when we had first got started and you had came to my house and then like we had a meeting and you had set like a specific GPA that you wanted me to get, and I was like, I don't know if I could do that. But then like by the end of the semester I had like surpassed that, and I've been doing like really good with upholding that same GPA. And I just think with doing like the 50 scholarships, the $100,000 scholarships that we were doing like over quarantine, and even this summer, it prepared us for we already had a list down. So when it came to like narrowing it down and like getting down to the nitty gritty, because we're like, time is winding down for us now, all we had to really do was like go back to those lists, look at them, pull them, and put them on another list. And then also, you gave us alumni from your program, and they've been helping us more and giving us a lot more opportunities that they had, and they're just passing it right down. Like, I can't remember her name, but she was like, I applied for this scholarship, you give them my name, they'll give you money. And I was like, okay. And then she had like gave us
Yeah,
like her
wait,
email and like everything.
I don't know. My kid, you know what? The alumni, and one day, soon, very soon, you guys will be that, and you'll be able to do the same thing. But that giving and that spirit of community is such a big thing, because I think actually everybody gave their number. And
Hmm.
then I know Naya gave you all a couple very specific things, and she was looking for who's in South Grand Prairie like I was, or in Grand Prairie like me.
Hmm.
Let me run this down to you type situation. And so you have that. That's awesome. Thank you for bringing it up so that people know. And even outside of college mode, you should have you should be engaging your family and community in this process
Hmm.
with you. Okay. VJ, you want to go next with that same question?
Yeah. So we're just talking about like our favorite parts of the.
Well, we switched over to what do you think we specifically did, or what about the program really helped you gain your confidence
Oh yeah.
about this? Yeah, that part.
Everything what really helped me gain my confidence was really like prior to becoming a part of college mode, I'd already been going to different like college prep classes
Mhm,
where they would specifically help me with like preparing for the ACT or SAT. And
mhm,
like with me, I'm strictly doing like ACT kind of stuff.
right.
And I feel like overall college mode has really just helped me to be able to really process what I need to buckle down on my ACT, what just really what I need to do in order to be successful when it comes to that. It really relieved a lot of anxiety for me because of that. So thank you for
Awesome.
that.
The other thing, you're welcome. I have to give VJ a shout out. So I was like, VJ, take the test again. VJ kind of gave me that side eye, like, it's really, and I was like, nope, we don't want anybody to have a question mark about whether you can, your college ready and you can do this. So he went and did the test, and he moved up. I think we moved up 2 points on the last particular test. That was like, I think it was only 4 to 6 weeks after the other one. Keep in mind, we meet once a week. So I know some of you guys are like really heavy and do these intense things. We just meet once a week and chip away at it a little bit at a time. But over the time that he's been in college mode, I look back, you're up 5 points overall, which puts him in a whole different scholarship bracket and admission bracket. So that's a huge thing. All right, Sierra, definitely tell us what made you like, because you pulled out your calculator on me. VJ, my young men, they don't do me like that. But y'all girls, sometimes y'all be like, Miss Tandy. Nah, we're good. But you pulled out your calculator. So tell me about the confidence and what you feel like helped you get there. Where you're like, okay, I'm going after my scholarship money, and I want to make sure we're aware this is how much money I got.
Yes, ma'am. So, something like I said before, I feel like the community helped me because I am like, I have never, well, I'm not gonna say I've never, but I've always been in with someone or with a community. I have I have two older siblings, so I've never like been alone, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
having a community for me makes me feel comfortable. I'm not gonna say I'm not comfortable by myself, but I am more comfortable around others because I've basically always been around someone else. So I feel like that community really helped me to be confident in that. Like even the other day, when we were talking about Howard and Jalen, like she messaged me and I was like, oh my gosh, yes, let me help you too, because we all need to do it together. Like, I don't want to feel like, I feel like doing it together is better than doing it alone. Because I'm like, I guess a team oriented person, I
Yeah.
guess you could say. Like, I don't want to do it alone.
Good deal. So I want to talk a little bit about, and I think Kenzie said it a little bit. I'm gonna start back going the other way around. So I'm gonna start back with you, Sierra, on this question. What mistakes? I mean, it's kind of a two-part. What mistakes do you think this program helped you avoid, and what do you think the benefit would have been if you had started earlier? Because I definitely, we're looking at, we have some freshmen in now, and they're learning from you guys. They're seeing what you're doing, and some of you feel like man, I had to ramp up kind of quick. So tell me a little bit about that. What do you think this program helped you avoid in terms of mistakes? And how would you have benefited from starting earlier?
So for what mistakes I could have avoided, I have avoided. Ooh, that's a whole hoot. So I have a list. So the first mistake that I have avoided in college mode was the runaround. And I got the runaround from college admissions counselors, admissions people, calling them on the phone, waiting for 30 minutes, calling SAT, waiting for 30 minutes or to up to an hour or an ACT to hear back from them. I've gotten the runaround from my high school counselor. Um, and I just think Miss Tandy has definitely helped me to stay calm, stay patient, and help me to like get through to them about the runaround that they were giving me. I think that the mistake this program has especially made me avoid is procrastinating, because we started in the summer when we didn't have school, and I didn't know how important it was to start in the summer before I had schoolwork and while I wasn't really doing much. I didn't think about it, but now that I'm at school, I couldn't imagine doing what I did in the summer on top of schoolwork and on top of like my extracurriculars. I wouldn't have no hair. I wouldn't have no edges.
You got your own hair oil, so I have to do a plug. She's a future dermatologist who's created. Look, she got her stuff ready. That's how we do it over here at College Mode. So she has a hair oil that she's created that helps grow your hair and keep it healthy. So she's already out here making products in her industry. All
Yes.
right. So
And
the
then
other thing is, do you think would there have been any benefit from you starting sooner? Because you came in the summer, your mom found out about the program through Facebook. Do you think there was any benefit to coming in even earlier? Which
Yes,
you think?
ma'am. I um I made the mistake of sending my scores directly to the school while taking the test, and my everyone in the testing room was like pressured into doing it by our administrators, and I did not know the effect of those scores that I took my junior year. That they could potentially be my only scores because like of not being able to test and stuff, but thankfully I got to test. But for that, oh my goodness, I'm so happy that like if I would have started earlier, I would have known. It's just so much more that I would have known while being a junior. Like junior's your hardest year. Um, Junior year, your GPA can go up the most, or it can like really like plummet you down. Like you're not going nowhere, baby. But I mean, please stop. But like, I just think that starting earlier would have helped me, and it would help everyone with getting in the know of college. College is a whole, it's a place and it's a journey on your path, but you're going through high school. You're not gonna like, of course, high school matters. In those 4 years, you do grow, but you don't go to school. You don't go to high school for high school. You're going to high school basically for college. And I feel like college mode would have helped me understand that and grasp that earlier, because I really didn't get that until my senior year, that I'm not going to high school for high school. I'm going to high school for college, because in college, that's when I get to get specific help for my career and what I want to do with my life for the rest of my life. So yeah.
Very cool. So I'm gonna skip over to Kenzie, because when you start talking about the GPA, Kenzie was like, yeah, I can attest to that. You got a witness over here. So Kenzie, tell us, what mistakes do you feel like college will help you avoid, and would you have started earlier? What would have been a benefit to start it early? As a matter of fact, you kind of sparked this question, because behind the scenes, you and I were having a conversation, and you were just kind of like,
I believe if I would have started earlier, I feel like my ACT scores and my SAT scores would have been like way higher, because we saw from like the last time how my
Mhm.
reading score had boosted like 8 points off of just
Yeah.
going hard for like the whole quarantine the whole time. And some things that like college mode has helped me avoid is like procrastination, because like procrastination is a disease, and then like getting wrapped up into like all of that schoolwork, and then trying to keep up with the social life, and then like your extracurricular activities, that would
Yeah.
have just like probably drove me crazy, because I would have felt like I had no life, like I got to just sit down at a table at my laptop all day to get it all done. But like I felt like I was set ahead of the curve, because all throughout quarantine, we were getting our colleges situated. We were doing our Fab Five. We were getting our scholarships together, and then we were slowly moving into our like applying to colleges and doing our little essays and like contacting the admissions office. So like it wasn't, I know for like some of my friends, they've just all had to like go in and then just go for it. But for me, I felt like it was a process, but not a hard process. It was just an easy go happy, go lucky process, because I just had to take it step by step. And then I gradually saw the bigger picture, because now we're almost finished filling
We're
out
almost finished.
applications.
We're almost finished.
So we're almost finished filling out applications. And so like now it's just, so it feels great. I feel like if I would have started earlier, my GPA would have probably been like through the roof, because I'm like killing it right now. So I
Yeah,
felt
you
like my
are.
GPA would have been a lot better.
Yeah. And I'm super proud. It's hard to move. Once you get past sophomore year, it's hard to move your GPA. People think, oh, I'm just do great my junior year and I'll be fine.
Mhm.
But I remember telling Kenzie kind of looked at me like, what are you saying I have to get? And we did the numbers. I was like, this is what we have to get. But I also will commend you because you asked questions. Like when you felt like your math homework was going to set you up for a trap with your GPA, you're like, Miss Sandy, can you help me with this assignment and before I have this quiz, understand why this is happening so much I don't lose points here. So that's really important. You advocating for yourself is really important. So, and then VJ, what mistakes do you think college mode help you avoid, and what benefit would you have had of starting earlier?
Yeah. Six that I think that college mode helped me avoid would definitely be like um just narrowing, not even narrowing, quite the opposite, expanding like my college viewpoints. Like I probably without college mode, I probably would have only looked into really like 3 colleges to really apply to. And like especially early on when I first like joined college mode, one of the first things we did was like finding like 10 different colleges at the least using different resources. So that was pretty good and definitely avoided some mistakes. Now I applied to like 7 colleges. So
Yeah,
yeah.
good healthy number. All
Yeah.
right, and then with there, because you're in a little bit of a different space than Mackenzie and Sierra. You were doing college prep programs.
Mhm.
Would there have been any? Do you feel like there would have been any benefit because you came in this summer at the end of junior year, coming into the summer? Would there have been any benefit to you being in this program earlier, um, even though you had other support in other ways?
Yeah, I feel like this program really provided a different perspective, really allowed me to like see why it was important for me to continue like looking into the college stuff, especially because like the other programs that I was doing kind of began to die down for me as I continued to go through my high school career.
Mm-hmm.
So like when it comes to like getting into college mode earlier, I feel like that would have really helped like my ACT score. Like the first time I wasn't even like in college mode when I first took the ACT. So that definitely would have been way better the first time.
Yeah. Okay, very cool. So I'm gonna start the next question with you. So you did something, you did this pitch contest that I sent you. I was like,
Yes.
BJ, I was like, hey, I got a student for this pitch contest. He went in and killed it. And tell us a little bit about that experience. Just a little bit, because you and Kenzie both, you guys have cash. So they not only have money on the table from colleges and things, but they both have also won some cash money.
Yeah. So like for me, really, I was going into this pitch contest for my own personal business, which is like just a digital media production company.
Oh, wait,
VCR
let me
Entertainment
stop him
Media.
right there because
Yeah.
he's talking about it's just a digital media production company. Dude has his whole own Marvel universe of superhero characters that represent him and our community that he's launching. And he signs all of his emails. CEO of VCR Media, which I just love. I just, every time I see that, I just smile because I just love it. But he does a lot of artistic work, and so we will see him. That's one of the things Lincoln said. Like he can't wait to brag that he was in, a group with you guys working on college. But go ahead. I just want to make sure because Sierra put our audio out there, and I want to make sure we know he's a whole CEO out here, editing videos, social media managing, creating his own Marvel, his version of a Marvel universe superheroes.
So yeah, when it comes to the pitch contest, it was really just like a good, not only like a networking experience, because you get to meet a lot of people, even your age, that are really interested in making businesses or already have successfully made their businesses and branching out to those people. But also you get really good at public speaking and really talking right to the audience that you need for your product in general. So that was really good experience from that.
Awesome. And I think because he was, I told him he had to do an interview, and I'm like, we need to prep. He's like, oh, I went on there and I did such and such. I was like, oh, okay, excuse me. Yeah. He had it down pat. And then Kenzie, tell me a little bit about, let's see, about your situation. You were actually the first one to get like a cash private scholarship out of this cohort.
Yeah. The Pearls Ministry is a ministry at my church, and we always have scholarships at the end of the year for our graduating seniors and our rising seniors or rising students. We always like get awards and get acknowledged for some good things that we've done throughout the year. And I've been a member of the Pearls Ministry since it was first founded. So I think I've been in the program for maybe 6 years. I think I started in the 6th grade. And it's basically about women empowerment and placing women with big sisters who will like guide them and keep them on the right path, and to teach them how to handle everything as a lady and a boss, a potential boss, or not even a potential boss, just a boss, period. So I had to basically do an essay over, she gave us like 5 questions, I believe, and it was talking about our career path and what motivated us to go into this career path. And when we pursue this career path, how will we initiate this during college, and how will we get it done during college? And I talked about me wanting to be a lawyer, well, an attorney, and all the things that have happened with me that has pushed me into being an attorney, and what college that I hope to get in this weekend, what college I hope to get in, and how I would like for this college to set me up into being the best attorney that I could possibly be. And I ended up winning the scholarship later that month, and that's how I was rewarded with that. That was really, it was really
Awesome.
good.
It was really cool to hear. And so I just want to point out a couple things because this is National Scholarship Month, and I want to make sure you are gleaning the lessons that they're putting forward because it may not be as obvious. So what Kenzie is saying here, she went to a community, she went to somewhere where she was already doing work. She was already actively participating and taking advantage of that. So now they know her story, they know what she wants to do, and they're like, yeah, we'll get behind you and support you. Now, she said something really important. If you were listening, she said that they give rising students, but they also give graduating seniors. So she has an opportunity to go back and as a rising senior and like ask for more money when the opportunity comes. And she knows that the opportunity is there. And so that's one of the things that your kid at home needs to know. Your team needs to know what's out there for them. VJ went to that pitch competition. He knew that that fit something on his resume, something that he spends a lot of time working on his business, and he's matched up really well for that. So I just want to make sure you're getting the lessons out of this about that. And then this isn't on, I gave them a list of questions, just I didn't want them to be completely shocked, but I didn't hear what they had to say ahead of time, guys. So I didn't prep them. I just want them to know what they were going to be asked. But I'm going to throw something out there at you guys that I want you to share with the audience. What is it that you know about applying for scholarships for you now that you're a part of the program and you've gone through this process? Like you've worked on your $100,000 list, you've applied to the schools. What is it you know about applying for scholarships and actually winning the money. Okay. I'm gonna do a quick lightning round. And Sierra, you're up. What is it that you know about scholarships that you should be applying for and actually getting to the money and winning it?
Find scholarships that are looking for you. Scholarships, scholarship organizations, scholarship companies, whatever they are looking for students. Make sure you're already the student that they're looking for, and you'll see what they're looking for through their requirements. So if you look at the requirements, if you're not the student they're looking for, you're not going to get it, if that makes sense. Like, be the student that they're looking for and find the scholarships that fit you. That way you won't have apply for as many scholarships where you're not the student that they're looking for.
Okay. VJ, what is it that you know about applying for scholarships that you have a great opportunity of winning and getting the money that you want?
Yeah, really kind of like what Sierra said, really just look at the scholarships that like apply to you. But also when you do that, always be on the lookout to be able to like kill two birds with one stone. Like if you see scholarships that are pretty similar already, don't be afraid to like work on them both and use them in order to just fill them both out really quickly and just be done with it like that.
Yeah, very good. And Kenzie, what would you say about knowing what scholarships apply for and knowing what's for you?
I was gonna say the same thing as Sierra and VJ. Like, it doesn't. Some scholarships you should pertain it to your major, but like your major isn't the only thing that you do. You can do your talents, anything that you just find to do that's just particularly fun for you. And also for like some colleges, they do ask for you to like write an essay proving why like you would want to go to that school, and that could potentially be scholarship money. And what I had learned from you and my mom and my aunt was basically, although you're trying to persuade this school to take you, but tell the school how good you are too, and how like even if I get into your school, yes, it's a reward, but if I come to you and I'm at your school, I'm a reward too. So like make yourself feel like you're the best person that you can be, and don't forget to acknowledge yourself and pat yourself on the back when you're signing yourself up for these scholarships. Like, not only are they giving you the money, but you were picked because you were good enough to receive the money. So make sure you
Yeah,
make yourself look good too.
absolutely. And then Kenzie, I didn't tell. So Kenzie is a singer and a future attorney. And so her gig is that she has founded her own club that represents, her at her school, because she's definitely a minority at her school, and to make sure that they're building a culture and doing something similar to what she's experienced in Pearls and some other organizations where they're supporting each other and building the culture and letting other people know about their culture and what the expectations are and how people should be treated, and some things that are not okay that maybe you've learned to do but it's not okay, and calling them out in a professional way, but making it clear that these are things that need to be done and addressed. So she spent her pandemic fighting for the legacy of leaving behind something that builds culture for African American students at her school, and fighting to be heard and fighting to be heard. So that and then with singing, she has had the honor of performing with Grammy nominated, not Grammy nominated, let me get this right, Grammy award winning composer, producer, all of that jazz, Kirk Franklin. So she's serious about her community, but she's serious about her singing in that career. And she's been singing since she's 3. So all of them bring incredible talent, and they can pull on each other's talent to get things done. She led the COVID think tank group this summer. I mean, not this summer, it was this spring, and coming
Mhm.
up with solutions around how we can um, avoid catching COVID-19 early on. She jumped in and led a group around that. So that's her background and story as a leader. And then I want to wrap up. Is there anything that I want you to describe this program to a friend? How would you describe it to a friend? And why should a parent enroll their kid in the program? Um, Tell us about that. And because it's National Scholarship Month, just make sure we address the scholarships too. Like, I know there's other benefits to being in the program, but make sure you can talk a little bit about the scholarship part.
I'd say that the benefit of joining the program is like Miss Tandy isn't only catering to one thing, so she's actually covering everything that you need literally to get into college, everything that a college will want. And Miss Tandy, she will fight for you. She will definitely fight for you. Like if you're having a problem with your counselor, or like we had a problem with one college and she called the college and we got it settled now. So she will fight for you and she will make sure that your college process will not be as stressful as other people make it seem. And she gets you ahead of the curve all the time, like all the time. And just how like Sierra kept on preaching and VJ kept on preaching about like the community of everything, it's really nice to know that not only are you having to just sit on a Zoom call, but there's other kids that are literally in the same position as you. And now since we have band, we can communicate to each other all the time, and we do it. We really do it sometimes. And with getting your scholarships and everything finished, even some of the freshmen and sophomores sit on calls with us upperclassmen as we're filling out some of these scholarships, and we're showing them like this is what you're going to have to start doing in a few years. And we actually encourage them to start doing it now so they can store up some money and keep it to the side. So by the time when it gets to get here, it'll be a breeze. They won't really have to go through all the preaching that we had to go through because it was like our first time doing it. So they won't have to really go through that as much. But like I encourage parents and kids to encourage their parents to put their kid in this program because it will honestly benefit you, and she'll help you even after you graduate because we've seen it. We've seen a lot of alumni coming on and be like, oh, Miss Katie, we did this. She's like, wait, what? And like she just gets happy for you like all the time. So it's really good to like have your parents by your side and then have Miss Tandy by your side. And then Miss Tandy, she's always cheering you on, but also calling you out when you need to be called out sometimes.
Yeah, so it was one thing that you said in there about the like going to bat and stuff, and I think people miss that sometimes because if you haven't had to deal with it, it's like I don't know what to say without ruining my chance of getting into this college. I don't know what to say without making this person mad at me. Like I don't really know what to do in that case. And so thank you for bringing that up and pointing that out. And yes, I do get on my students. Somehow they love me anyway, even when I'm black mama 100% and snatching edges
Miss
around here, they
Carolyn.
still. And she said that preaching. So I will be so Kenzie. So all of them. One reason why I wanted on this particular chat for you guys to see this. Kenzie came in
I want to say my sophomore year. Maybe.
it was the beginning of
It was
junior
like,
year.
yeah, the
I believe
beginning
because
of
we were
junior year.
beginning of junior year, and the focus we really like. I needed her to make sure that semester she had to ramp up her GPA. She didn't really have space for anything else because she had never had to, like, she had to shift how she was doing things in order to hit that. So we really didn't have the space and time to work on SAT and ACT as regular because she needed to make those changes so that she could raise her GPA. And then once spring came, we were able to go like, okay, like let's get going here. But so she had some life challenges, and this is something I want to remind people of. I'm at the age, and I have young adults, and they're the age. Our parents and grandparents are getting older, and one of the most common things, unfortunately, that we see on this side as educators in this space, students lose their grandparents quite frequently in high school. And they need space and time to grieve if that's going to happen. We don't know if it's going to happen. Sometimes they get sick themselves. Like some of that's happened with some peers in the program and things, and they need that space to breathe. I wanted her to have that space to raise her GPA and get that figured out because now we don't have to talk about GPA at all. Once we ran through that and she figured it out and we sorted that out, we didn't have to talk about GPA and we could just run through it. So if your kid has those things that they need to work on, you want to do it a little bit at a time. Um, it's very overwhelming to try to work on all the things. All right, VJ, what would you tell a friend about the program? How would you describe it to a friend, and why should a parent enroll their kid in the program?
I mean, if you just like to be prepared and like to be stress-free, uh, even if you're like and super heavy into procrastinating, this is a good place to just get ready for college and to really stay on it just the whole time. It's a really good place that utilizes intersectionality, where like the stuff that you're learning about college, you can still use in your high school career, especially when you get into like practicing and studying for the ACT and the SATs. Like the stuff that you're currently doing in your high school math classes, that's the stuff that is on your ACTs. So they just help each other. College mode helps you find the way in order to do both of those things.
Awesome. Thank you. And Sierra, what would you say about parents enrolling their kids in the program, and how would you describe it to a friend?
So I would describe this to a friend with just the simple statement of concentrated overall college help from someone who knows what they're doing. Because honestly, as a senior, you don't know. I mean, I had an older brother who was a 2020 senior graduate, and even still, he went through the same process a year ago, and I am still don't know what I'm doing. If that makes sense. So yes, concentrated college help. That's how I describe it to a friend, and honestly, how I would um, tell my mom or my dad that I really want to be in this program is I'm either going to ask you all these questions or I'm going to ask someone else. And you're not going to know the answer to these questions. So you're going to get mad at me and I'm going to be mad at you. And everybody's not going to be happy. So let's get some help because we don't know what we're doing. So getting help is the best option. That's how I describe it.
That I haven't heard. That's definitely a different perspective about the question answering, and you're not going to know the answers because it's true. When I'm talking to the parents, they are frustrated at times that they want to help their kid, and they're like, I don't know what's going on. I don't really know why that would be like that. And so I saw the looks on Kenzie and VJ's face at the same time, like, yeah, that is part of it. That's part of it. Well, I really appreciate you guys coming on tonight to help celebrate National Scholarship Month, to talk about how you've won your money, how this program has helped you, to maybe encourage some people to, stay the course, that you have money, they can do it too. And also to make sure that people are aware this process, what we say is a little bit different over here in college mode. So for scholarships, we say that we want to be focused. We don't want to apply for every scholarship out there. And that's because we don't want burnout to set in. You could burn out applying for every scholarship out there and then never get to the ones that were actually meant for you. And so if you have extra time, they have their list. Sometimes they'll ask, like, should I apply for this scholarship? I'm not 100% good fit for this, but I think because X, Y, and Z. And we're like, yeah, but the things that are going to waste their time, it's like, no, we don't have time for that. You still got to live life. You still got to be a family member, sister, brother, daughter, son, all of those things. And so we want to make sure we honor that at college mode. Any last words for the people? Otherwise, I'm going to wrap up. Any last words?
I have oils. You can buy them for $6. They come in these glass bottles. Just a little advertisement.
Absolutely. Sierra's hair oil. Get you some.
Yes,
She has a form set up. She set up all her little payment gateway. She got all her stuff set up. And I have to say, I told her, like, okay, you're gonna do that. Here's some tips. She got it together. And so I want to invite you guys. It's National Scholarship Month, but I'm also closing out 2022 Project 104 ride seats. Okay. And look at Sierra like, what? Yeah. So we will not open Project 104 rides for 2022 after next week. That's it. And the reason being is some of the things they just told you is that going through this process could be stressful, but I like for it to be a less stressful and worry-free process that the kid knows I just need to follow along and stay caught up. And it doesn't have to be difficult for them. We don't know what's coming with COVID and this pandemic. Looks like we might be going back virtual after Thanksgiving. And I want to make sure that kids aren't locked up in their house just going crazy because they have all this stuff to do. that they can enjoy life, even if that just means going outside and walking the dog 10 times a day, or baking. I think you were baking cinnamon rolls, Kenzie, at the beginning of the pandemic, and making new hair care products and skin creams and new comic characters, whatever that is. I want them to be able to give their gift to the world and not be so bogged down with schoolwork and this that they can't do that. And then and everything else they have going on, that they give back to their communities and stuff. So that being said, if you are interested in signing your kid up for Project 100 Full Rise and they are class of 2022, you got to hear. You heard what they said about procrastination. We can't really do that over here. And then if you are a class of 2023, a class of 2024, keep in mind the doors are open, the sooner the better. A lot less stress for you, and you can stop answering questions, as Sierra said. I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.